And welcome to Around the Table. It is our traditional middle of the week hump day. And we are excited to be here with you for the next hour.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dan.
People out there in La La Land.
La La.
Or if you're working, hello. I hope you have a lovely day.
What would be the zip code for La La Land?
L-A-A-A-L.
7.
7, whatever.
Welcome,
7.
Welcome to the show. We have an external guest today.
External guest?
External.
Is that like a appendage? What does that mean?
As opposed to the internal, which would be in the studio. We got an external guest who will be on the show a little bit later on in the show. We'll have Sharon Kizziah-Holmes. She is an author, and we will be calling her a long distance. We'll be talking with her a little bit later on.
Good deal.
But we want to let everybody know, first off, that this program is sponsored by Stone Bank.
Indeed it is. Thank
Stone
you,
Bank right
Stone
here in
Bank.
Harrison. Yes.
Whoa, I'm falling off my... There we go. Excuse me.
How many drinks did you have this morning?
Well, 0. So maybe that's the problem. We're on the downside.
What's your morning drink? Do you drink milk, coffee, water?
I never drink milk. But that's beside the point. Coffee and water. First, here before this trip, I have been taking the vitamin C emergency.
Oh, trying to.
Every morning. Mm-hmm. Knock on wood. I've done okay. Oh, that's not wood. But I've done okay. But that's it. Coffee and water. Coffee and water.
Okay.
What's yours? It's not what you think. I mean, I'll have a Bloody Mary while I'm gone. That'll be my morning.
Usually I have a little milk in my cereal. Mm-hmm. Then I'll drink some water to wash all of that down. Mm-hmm. And then I'll drink coffee.
Okay.
And then at lunch I'll have, I think it's, 20 ounces of water. Then I'll drink another one of those later in the afternoon.
How much water do you drink throughout the day?
But 40 ounces of water.
40? That's it?
40 ounces, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I drink whatever that is, a coffee.
That's not the same, but
It's water.
There's water in it.
It's full of water, yeah.
And caffeine and...
Yes. Of course.
Yes, I need the caffeine. Is that
I
what
need that caffeine. But sometimes I'll drink coffee, and by the end of the day, I'll take that home and I'll pour 3/4 of it out.
You don't need that much coffee
I guess I don't need that much. So I work and drink. I have a habit of that. Mm-hmm. So, but
you forget to drink, you get so much into your work sometimes, perhaps.
Probably do. I need a long straw. But they've outlawed all the straws. You can't use straws anymore.
I thought Trump was like reversing that or something. Didn't he?
Yeah, you could have plastic straws. Yeah, yeah. Everybody wanted to go with paper straws.
Those.
Yeah, have you ever had a paper straw?
Yeah.
That was the old day paper. That was the old time straws.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with them. Did you?
Yeah. No.
I had a problem if you chewed on them and you couldn't suck through them anymore.
Right. But no, I didn't really. I like having a straw of some sort. So if it has to be paper, then okay, not a problem.
Just as long as I can.
Let me have my paper straw.
Just as long as I get whatever's in the bottom of that cup up to my mouth.
You know, he's done some things that I don't know. I just sometimes go,
Well,
sit back and go.
Some of the things Trump is doing, it's a little like, whoa.
That's
like
how I feel.
Slam the brakes on, dude. Wait a minute.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like the Gulf of America?
Well,
really?
I mean, some of them are, that too.
That was like, I mean, I know it's some people say, oh, you're wasting tax dollars when you do. I mean, all you got to do is say, we're going to change it, okay? Here's a proclamation. Doesn't take long. You know, I understand that. But just to do that, it's just like.
What?
Why?
Why?
But,
and there's some other ones that there's just some stuff, even with the DEI, not that I some of that stuff's just kind of weighing on me a little weird too.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Everyone should be acceptance of diversity, equity, inclusion. But I think when you push the government to require certain things, I think that's where people get a little sideways on it.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it on air.
Okay, that's fine. We can talk about weather. How about that?
We can talk about it. It's going to be increasing clouds today, in case you hadn't already
Now,
seen
notice that. A little windy last night, too.
It was. With the temperature falling to around 50 by 5 p.m., windy with a west-southwest wind at 20 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts actually up to 45 miles per hour. Tonight, a chance of rain and snow. What?
What? What?
What? Rain and snow mainly before 11 p.m. Mostly cloudy with a low around 33. Windy with a northwest wind 20 to 25 miles per hour and 40 mile per hour gust. Chance of precip is only 30%, so little or no snow accumulation will happen. Thursday, partly sunny, then gradually becoming sunny. A high of 50. Good gravy. A high of 55. Again, windy. Thursday night, increasing clouds with a low of 36. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at you. It's a really short sentence there that you have to read.
I know,
Just a
but
really short one.
I can botch the short ones too. Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 66, breezy. Again, we have the wind gust possible, and Friday night, mostly clear with a low of 40. And it's your turn. I want you to do this perfect.
Saturday?
All of it.
We're on Saturday. Mostly sunny with a high near 68. Calm winds becoming southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. In the afternoon, winds could be gusty up to 15. And also a chance of showers for the overnight low of Saturday night will be 49 with a 70% chance of showers. Sunday, showers likely again with possibly thunderstorms before 1 p.m. Then a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 1 p.m., partly sunny with a high near 68. South winds 10 miles per hour, becoming west-northwest in the afternoon.
Ooh.
60% chance of showers on Sunday, and then Sunday night, low 40. Monday and Tuesday, high mid to upper 60s.
Okay.
With no chance of it. So we're going to have a rainy weekend, sounds like.
Sounds like it. What a way to leave the U.S.
I had no problem reading any of that.
You know what? It's the best you've ever done it. In the last 2 years we've done
Well, it was a
this.
competition.
It was, and you sharpened the knife there, didn't you?
I sharpened my pencil and licked the lead.
Yes, you did. I wonder how that'll poison you. I wonder how that'll come back to haunt you.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
What?
There was something I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say something about the Runaway Branson coaster. Do you know about that, don't you?
I do, Dan.
Okay, you do know about. But
I've
you can
heard about it.
You know, you can spend your mornings and afternoons there if you really want.
Really?
At Mountain Coaster and enjoy it. If you want to save some money, you can do that by.
How do you save
You can
your
do that
money,
by
Dan?
buy one ticket and then they'll give you another one free.
It's a BOGO?
You could either go there by yourself and buy one ticket and ride 2 times, or you can buy 2 tickets.
Which would be very stingy, I might add.
Well, that'd be. I mean, if you're by yourself, not unless you want to pull people off the street.
Well,
Say,
no,
you
but
want
you
to
might
ride
want
with
to
me?
gift one, pay it forward.
Okay,
Just say.
that's what you're doing when you buy one get one free. You're
But you're
paying.
paying forward to yourself.
You're doing that, paying
Oh,
forward.
gotcha. Okay.
This is going on through March the 31st. You can stretch your spring break dollar with a BOGO. Buy one, get one free from 10 a.m. to noon, and then again from 3 p.m. to 5, Monday through Friday. RunawayBranson.com/spring break. Find out more information about that, and hurry before this ends. This offer ends March 31st.
Also, Mohawk Big Deals. They're still having their spring forward, I believe. So go check out MohawkBigDeals.com.
All right. And March Madness started, what was it, last night? And you were in the bracket and you got kicked out.
Y'all, I
your
didn't
team
even
didn't even
sign
even
up
win.
for anything. I don't even know how to play this game. Jim
Good.
Johnson just and then I got an email this morning saying, well, you're out of that one.
You're out of
okay,
it.
I didn't
Oh,
even
okay.
know my
Well.
was playing.
Yeah.
But some people are really into it. And go,
I'm still in it.
Richard, his team in Little Rock is sending out March Madness, and he's kind of like me. We're oblivious.
Well,
That's
it's fun.
not, yeah, oh, yeah.
It's fun, especially
Do
if you
pay
win.
attention?
No, I used to
Oh,
do
but
that.
how do you know it's fun then?
Well, I used to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to do the bracket.
I
Now,
got
I
you.
told you the story about my 2 boys who were, at the time, this has been 20 years ago, but they were, like teenagers, even probably younger, maybe early teens. And they were having a bracket down at Cox Communications.
Oh.
And you had to buy into it. And
Right.
I think it was $10 or $20 or whatever. So I fronted the boys, and they got the bracket down, and they did it without knowing any of the teams. And they would look at them, and they were what do you call it when they were ranked.
Oh, okay.
And so if the ranks were really close, like 6th and 7th, they'd flip a coin. Long story short, they ended up winning.
That's awesome. Though.
Yeah. So
kind of how I do when I go to the races, the horse races. Oh, that's a pretty horse.
yeah, that one or
That
I
one
like the
looks like
name.
it's got some nice muscles on it. It's like
Do you go look at the horses?
random. Oh yeah, we go look. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I go look. Oh, what a pretty horse. Whatever.
Oh boy.
I don't know. Sometimes it's just a feeling. I do that with stock
Have you
market,
ever
which
have
is
you ever
really
won?
sad. I get some losers sometimes. But
Yeah.
sometimes there's just a feeling. Well, I'll go read about it, but there's a feeling.
Now, when you're on the stock market, do you look at health, technology? What do you look for?
Tech is kind of, well, this is what I've learned in my, master brain here. Technology, like we've kind of backed off in our own portfolio, but healthcare is always good, and utilities and that type of thing. Yeah. There's different sectors that I'm in a group that does this, and have an advisor who recommends kind of what sector, and they want you in a balanced portfolio.
Okay.
They don't
Where
want
do
you
they
all
get-
tech, because if tech goes, which it
No.
has here recently,
Oh, okay.
then all your stock, if it's invested in tech, your portfolio goes
Mm-hmm.
whoop, and you have to wait. You know what I'm saying? You lose
Mm-hmm.
a lot of money that way.
Yeah.
Not that it's not going to come back, but
Yeah.
you have the potential of it not. So they want you in a well balanced one. So at
Okay.
least if your utilities are doing well, your tech isn't, you're
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Well, Ozempic was a. I'm sure their stocks are really doing well. That
I
type
haven't
of
looked
drug.
at that. Yeah,
Well, we've got a story a little bit later that shows that you can grow your own Ozempic.
I saw that.
Wow. So
That may be a game changer if it's really,
be.
really legit.
yeah,
People could medicate. Oops, am I saying that? Medicate themselves.
medicate
I
themselves.
mean, kind of like a holistic thing. If you can grow your
Yeah.
own.
I think all drugs should be over the counter, except for the dangerous
Why are
ones.
they? Well, except for the narcotic.
That's what I
But
mean.
why are they not? Why are they not? Do you
Control
who? What?
price.
Why?
You get more money when it's over when it's prescribed.
think? I know, but still, if they really cared about the human consumer, would they not make it affordable?
That's the question.
Whoever they is.
I don't think they do care about the human.
I don't either. I think they want you sick and broke.
Wow, what a concept.
I finally, really, truly believe that.
Okay, you want to do some pondering?
Well, we've pondered some. Let's ponder some
Yeah,
more.
we pondered a lot here on the show. Let's talk about today's topic to ponder, and this week's topics are all about facts.
Get up, get moving, get those thinking caps on. It's time to ponder this topic.
Is there a difference between the way we discover and verify facts compared to previous generations?
Well, we have the internet,
Well, that's true.
so yeah, in that
Okay.
in technology, we have technology with us now.
How did we rely on facts before all this?
I don't know. I think the less amount of info you're fed, the easier it might be to,
Well, I'm sure.
go process that. So,
Well, look at the JFK files are being released today.
and they're not expecting anything in them.
You can't get around it anymore because it's and it's all unredacted.
But they're not finding anything, are they?
I don't know.
Well, that's what I read.
We'll find
I
out.
don't know.
Okay. Well, where'd you get
They
those
don't-
facts?
I don't know. I don't know if they're fact. I'm not saying this is fact. There's a little blurb about it that I read.
And
it was
who wrote
just-
that blurb?
Yeah, see, exactly. I don't know.
In the old days, we would watch. I mean, before television, we'd listen to the radio, or we'd go to the library and look for those facts, or we would rely on a newspaper to tell us what was
Right.
real and what's not. Nowadays, most of the news outlets are opinion based,
Right.
or they have an opinion based, or you have a blog somebody's got a blog or a TV show or a talk show or like this, they get their information from things like that. So yeah, it has changed considerably.
You know, and who's to say back in the day when we would get our information from the newspaper that all that was not opinion?
Yeah.
You can write what you want.
A lot of it was. If you go back and look at the history, a lot of the political cartoons were
Okay.
pretty opinionated.
So here's a good question. How do you get your facts and know that they're fact, not somebody's opinion that's on the internet?
I think you have to do a lot of studying. You have to go to the source if you can.
What did you mean by this?
Yeah, what did you mean?
And if they're
Did
not
you
a
mean this
liar,
or that?
maybe they'll tell you.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's just there's so many variables now.
There
It's really
is.
quite sad. But anyway, it's a little scary.
there's a lot of so-called facts floating out there. Anyway, today's topic to ponder: is there a difference between the way we discover and verify facts compared to previous generations? And
Oh, wow.
go to our Facebook page and
There's some answers on here.
good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Let's do some history.
We're doomed to repeat ourselves, so let's find out what happened today in history.
The members who spoke were coiffed to perfection, but no attempt had been made to dress up the tedious legislative process.
Pursuant to the provisions of Clause 5B of Rule 1.
46 years ago, for the first time, the House of Representatives allowed the public to watch its proceedings on TV. CBS News correspondent Mariah McLaughlin reported. The audio heard from the House floor is that of Speaker Tip O'Neill.
And that's how you get the facts, by watching and seeing it directly from the source.
Yeah.
Once I stepped on the floor, I mean, I really felt good. I felt very confident of being out there. I wasn't nervous at all.
Back in 1995, 30 years ago, after a stint as a Major League Baseball player, Michael Jordan returned to pro basketball, rejoining his old team, the Chicago Bulls. Jordan retired again and then returned again for 2 seasons with the Washington Wizards. He retired for good in 2003.
At this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
22 years ago, President Bush ordered the start of war with Iraq with airstrikes on a bunker where Saddam Hussein was thought to be hiding. Because of the time difference, the war began in Iraq early on March 20th, Iraq time.
Things do seem to be heating up. I still don't see any explosions on the ground. I'm beginning to take cover now.
You know, we were in a unique thing where we could watch this
Yeah,
on TV. It
Yeah.
was quite interesting.
it
Anyway.
was. That was correspondent David Chatter, who was one of the few Western journalists still in Baghdad when the war began. This is on the same story topic line of 22 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Singer Ruth Pointer of the Pointer Sisters was born. She is 79 years old, and, well, you would have heard Jump if we could have played it, but y'all know it.
We know it.
We were attracted to each other at the party. That was obvious. You're on your own for the night. That's also obvious.
What a crazy movie. This is a birthday cut. Glenn Close was born on this day 78 years ago. Perhaps her best-known role came in Fatal Attraction.
She made me
Yay!
feel bad for rabbits.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
Okay. Bruce Willis was born 70 years ago today. He played a tough guy hero in the Die Hard movies.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll hopefully have Sharon Kizziah-Holmes on the phone. She's an author and a book coordinator, helping other people get their books on the newsstands.
Okay.
So we'll find out all about that in just a few minutes. Stick around, stay with us. We will be right back. And welcome back to Around the Table. We tried to get our guest on the show, and apparently she is unavailable, away from the phone, and I guess we will have to punt.
We will punt it today. So while we're punting today...
Yeah, you want to go over some local things?
I'm going to go over things that are happening, like tomorrow.
Sure.
So there was a save the date on the Recovery Center of the Ozarks, and it's their second annual report to the community, and it will be at Signature Bank Community Room at 11:30. I invite you to go on their behalf. There will be a luncheon and a live auction, and this is a great organization here in our area, and they don't just sit around and do nothing. They do stuff. I mean, they're like community oriented. Even last year, I think they were helping clean yards and just doing some stuff. So
it's good.
Yeah,
it's nice to see that.
And also tomorrow at the Boone County Library is the Good Bug Bad Bug.
That's
meeting.
About it's to know what bugs are good for your garden and what are bad. Okay.
Right. And that's sponsored by the Boone County Master Gardeners, so they know what they're talking about, people. And it's tomorrow evening from 5:30 to 6:30, again at the library.
Oh, good.
So go check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan, yeah. The rest, I mean, like there's stuff coming up over the weekend, but we may hit it. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what you want to hit. The
wall?
What
do we want to hit up?
You want to hit the wall?
We don't want to do that.
Okay.
Oh, we do want to. We do want to thank Stone Bank for being a part of
Yes,
what
we
we
do.
do here, and it makes it a whole lot easier to do this kind of stuff when we know we got support out in the community.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. And while we say that, let's remind people that if you have something interesting or some event or you think you're really cool.
Yeah, we do have
if you say, hey, I want to be on your show, I'm going to turn around and ask you, what would you talk about? You know, I mean, I want to know what the question is.
Yeah.
And so if you're one of those people going, well, I think this would be interesting, run it by us.
It's usually somebody that says, I don't want to be on there, but I know somebody that would be the best person to be on the show. And we do have a segment called Person of Interest.
Mm-hmm.
And it does sound like, we're going to arrest them, and we kind of do arrest them when they come in here.
They're not leaving until we're done with them. That's how that works.
But there's a lot of people in the community that live their entire life without any fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look for a spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
They do their thing behind the scenes, and when you hear about them, hopefully you hear about them before they've passed on.
Right.
And then you hear about all the great things, and you go, wow, I wished I would have gotten to know that person.
Sure.
And we come across one the other day that you have scheduled, and we're going to get him in here.
Well, it'll be May.
Okay, well, we'll get him in here.
We'll get him in here.
Yeah,
but it's kind of after the fact. He's retired.
But he's one of those people that
Yeah.
Just minding his own business and helping when he can, and doing some monumental things behind the scenes that no one ever gets to see. So anyway, if you know somebody like that, let us know.
And if you're asking yourself, how do we reach out? You go to our Facebook page and you send us a message. Because I can't guarantee you I'm going to read the thread. So send us a message is the best way to contact us on our Around the Table Facebook page.
Did you watch the splashdown yesterday?
I did not. I was not home when it happened, but I listened.
I love that kind. I don't know why I love that kind of stuff, but it's just such cool. Almost an impossible feat for people to go out into space in a rocket without it exploding, which some of them have, and to get out there and do their thing in the dead of space, breathe oxygen in an area that has none.
Your life support system.
And it's not, if you're in the sun, it's really hot, and if you're out of the sun, it's really bitterly cold. So I mean, and then they come back, and they come through the atmosphere over 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah,
bizarre.
And then a parachute comes out, and then they splash in the water, and it's like, oh, we're fine.
A successful mission.
Yeah.
Now, did you see the outside of it? I mean, it looked brown. There was brown, I guess, from the re-entry into the Earth.
Yeah.
That's just crazy how it's just crazy to me. It's beyond what my mind can really comprehend how all that takes place.
Well, they say that the astronauts returned but might not be able to walk for weeks.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Now that the 2 astronauts who were stranded at the space station for 9 months are finally back on Earth, don't expect to see them in a parade float anytime soon. NASA says Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, I call them Butch and Sundance,
I like it.
will probably need a couple of months of rehabilitation to just gain back the muscle and coordination they lost in weightlessness. By the way, even though 286 days is long, even by NASA standards, it's still short of the 371-day record set by astronaut Frank Rubio back in 2023.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've heard that the astronauts, some of their extremities swell because their heart really wasn't pumping, didn't need to pump, because under gravity, you got to pump from your feet up, and you got a lot of pressure your heart has to push all that stuff, but you're in weightlessness, your heart doesn't have to do a whole lot. So when they come back, their heart has slowed down, so they're not pumping. So they got to learn their heart has to learn how to pump that.
Well, and they're not doing any. They're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Well, they're not. I don't mean they're not doing anything, but they're not moving around a bunch. So.
They're supposed to do.
Hi, Miss Hester.
That door just opened.
Hi, Miss Hester. It's okay.
You want to tell them about Miss Hester?
No, you tell them.
There's supposed to be somebody here named Miss Hester that no one can see.
So when the door opens, we just say, "Hi, Miss Hester."
And there's little proof right there, huh?
Yeah, it just opened.
Yay!
Ah.
Ooh, quit, Miss Hester. Don't do that. Don't tickle my ear. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, but they were saying that they do exercise 2.5 hours a day.
Well, good, because you'd had so much atrophy that I can't imagine. Yeah, that would be a difficult transition.
Yeah, but they can't. They are wobbly. They can't stand.
You talk about restless leg syndrome, Dan. I mean, we've discussed that. It's a thing, and it's horrible. And I couldn't function. You'd have to knock me out.
Oh, up there? Well, your leg would just be kicking all the time.
But it's in.
You think it's in your head?
No, I don't think it's in my head, but it does bother me. I couldn't let it go.
Yeah.
Unless I was severely medicated, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
But you know what? Hats off to those people, and hats off to Elon Musk for getting them back here.
Yeah.
You know, thank you.
Well, they said that they asked Biden to get him to come back,
Uh-huh.
and for some reason, whether it be political or whatever.
Yeah, we don't know the reason.
But some people say that he would have if Elon wouldn't have been a supporter of Trump. He would have.
Oh.
So I don't know
wow.
that.
Well, you know, that's
I
pretty
don't know
crappy.
where those facts come from.
That's kind of crappy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Anyway.
But whatever. Yeah. What was I going to say? Have you read this whole thing where Trump's trying to say that the pardons that Biden gave were with an auto pen and all that? I didn't even know, like, they used an auto pen.
What is an auto pen?
Isn't it kind of just like a stamp thing? Or, it's not really their signature? I don't know. What? That's a good question.
I saw a picture of a contraption with a pin in it and had some gears, not gears, but, whatever. I don't know. What is an auto pen? Anyway, I'll talk about the Antarctica people here. Antarctica researchers request rescue mission after colleague snaps.
Okay. Sorry, I was reading on the auto pen.
Oh, is it a real thing?
Mechanically replicates. Replicates is the key word here, a person's signature.
Okay. So
how can you tell if it's auto pen? Use a robotic arm with a pen attached to it manually is how it works.
Okay. So there's a real pen.
I guess.
And there's a couple things, and it goes over the signature.
I guess so.
They showed some examples of that, and the signature was identical. Your signature's never the same.
Right.
It's close, but
right.
there's always some kind of variance.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay.
Anyway,
what now?
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Sorry.
Antarctica researchers request a rescue mission after one of their colleagues snaps.
Oh, I'd be the one to snap up there with my restless legs.
That was Ann Limley up there who snapped. It's like the plot line from a horror script. A crew of South African researchers at an isolated lab in Antarctica are living in fear after one of their colleagues snapped. The emergency communication claims he attacked the base leader and threatened to kill someone else, and now the scientists are begging to be rescued.
Wow.
Except the fastest they can get to them is about 2 weeks when the weather cooperates, and it's most likely they'll have to wait up to 10 months before help can arrive.
Wow.
I'd get some duct tape and I'd strap that boy down.
You know what? You'd think there's enough of them. I don't know how many people are in here. You know, could hold him down and do something with him, right?
Yeah. Unless they're not.
You don't think that could overpower him?
Maybe they can't overpower him. Yeah,
maybe
it's a little scary.
Well, people go nuts, and you don't know their demeanor or anything. That's just it's scary. It is scary.
Yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit about JFK docs earlier, but your conspiracy theory loving cousin might be disappointed reading this 80,000 pages of JFK files the White House just declassified. Historians aren't expecting any deep state bombshells. Instead, they think all the stuff that was previously blacked out has more to do with long-dead FBI informants and CIA intelligence gathering tricks from the 1960s. Okay, among the documents are 2,400 FBI files that may or may not include something about a second shooter. So
there's a lot to sift through.
There's going to be a lot of probably different story stuff happening with that because we just don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
And you may not know ever. We just were.
We just were.
Yeah.
We're going to take another break. I'm going to try another time to get our author on the phone. Maybe she's off the phone now. Maybe not. But we will try to get a hold of her. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. We'll do that. We'll be right back. Stick around. Stay with us. I'm going to shut the door behind me, too.
Okay.
Hang in there. Straight ahead. We'll be right back.
KHOZ.
And welcome back to Around the Table. We did connect with our external guest today, Sharon Kizziah-Holmes. Welcome, Sharon.
Well, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that.
Well, good. Glad we got a hold of you. We have been trying to establish ourselves as maybe a connection for local authors and get them on the show here and talk about their journey. And we've talked to several people throughout the last couple years, and it's quite interesting to talk to some of the people and how they got involved in writing. When did it start for you? At what age?
Oh, well, I wrote songs and things. I'm a retired road musician, and I wrote songs from age 12 and poetry and that kind of stuff, but I never, ever thought of writing a book. And probably 1990, a friend of mine came up and said, let's write a romance novel together. And I said, all right, well, I've read enough of them, I can write one. Of course, everybody thinks that. But we started writing, and she kind of flittered out and never really wrote much, and I just continued on. And so finally, I'm also a licensed barber, and I was cutting a man's hair. I used to work at Tall Tales Barbershop in Bass Pro, and I was cutting a man's hair, and I was telling him about this romance that I'd written, and he told me about a writing group here in Springfield called Ozarks Romance Authors.
Okay.
So I called the lady and joined the group, and it all started right there.
So you like the romance department for ideas?
Well, I did.
Oh.
Now I write mystery. I write biographical fiction. I write all kinds of short stories. I really, honestly, don't write romance much anymore.
Okay. Well, your father was a musician, and
Yes,
you wrote a book about him. Now, what's interesting about this one is it says it's an unbiographical, or it's a fiction.
I'm sorry, my dogs may start barking.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. They're saying hi.
It's a biographical fiction.
Biographical fiction, yes. Okay.
Creative nonfiction.
Okay.
So it's based on true story, but of course I didn't know any of the conversations or anything.
Oh,
but
I see.
all of the events are true. All of the events actually happened.
Okay. And the title, I've got the book up on the screen. It's called A Star That Twinkled,
but never got to shine.
But never got to shine. And this was your father. And tell us about him a little bit.
Yes, sir. Well, he grew up. He was born with a cocked eye, and in 1915, and his dad would never take him. His dad was a musician, and his mom both, my grandma and grandpa. And they would do medicine shows, and he would never take my dad. He would only take his brothers and sisters because people stared at Daddy because his eye was up cocked, So at 14, after my grandmother died, who was his biggest fan, my dad heard Jimmie Rodgers. He had taught himself all Jimmie Rodgers songs. My grandpa had given him a guitar for his 9th birthday. He self-taught him all the songs of Jimmie Rodgers. And he heard Jimmie Rodgers on the radio in Oklahoma City, and they lived in El Reno. So my dad hitchhiked to Oklahoma City and got to the radio station and asked for Jimmie. And the lady said, well, he's got a radio show in 15 minutes. He said, I just want to sing him one song.
Oh.
And Jimmie came down, and Dad sang his song, and he put him on his radio show that very day.
Darn.
That's cool.
Wow.
And
That's really cool.
He was on for 6 weeks, and Jimmie bought him his first pair of glasses.
Oh, my gosh, I bet your dad was in heaven.
Oh, absolutely.
That is
so
amazing.
From then on, my dad went as Sonny Rogers, and my grandfather went as Lon Rogers. And my grandfather actually married his second wife under the name Rogers and had 4 children. And they didn't know their name was Kizziah
I'll be
until
darned.
they were grown almost.
That's so funny.
Wow.
And yeah.
Wow. He
Yeah.
made a big impression.
Yes, and then he had his own radio show. He ended up moving to Oregon, and he had one of the top 5 rated bands in the nation. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Okay.
And it was in I don't know if you remember the old Cowboy Roundup magazine, and they had him as one of the top 5 rated bands in the nation.
Wow.
And he worked with everybody: Rex Allen, Tennessee Ernie Ford, Willie Nelson, and he were really good friends. Farron Young, Ferlin Husky, anybody back in the day, and they were always guests on his radio show.
That's cool.
Well, how neat.
So, but he married a woman with 2 children, my mom, and he never went to Nashville. He never did anything but that right there.
Well, that's
And
okay.
that's why he was a star that twinkled but never got to shine. He
Well,
was a
I love that.
4-star recording artist.
Well, but he did
So-
shine. He did shine. And your
He
book is
did
allowing
shine.
him to do that.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
Very proud of him.
There's another book that you've written. It's called Following Daddy's Footsteps. It says My Life in the Music Business, and that's you on the cover, I'm assuming.
Yes, that's a skinnier me.
Okay.
Probably a younger one as well.
Now,
Ma'am?
Probably a younger one as well.
Yes, absolutely.
now you've written. Are you still writing?
I don't write much anymore. We've been talking about putting a box set of thriller mysteries out with a bunch of local authors. And so I've been writing on that, but I mostly publish anymore.
Yeah.
After I got my memoir about my life in the music business out, then I just kind of concentrated. I quit concentrating on that.
Well, I mean, it's not like you had the dream of doing it. I mean, you were doing it. And
Absolutely.
And I think that the part of the fascination of life is the adventure of doing things. And then when you accomplish, it's like, okay, I've accomplished it. I want to do something different.
What's next?
What's next? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you, I never thought about writing books or getting into the publishing business. I never thought ever in my life that I would do that. And then when it hit in the 90s, I started publishing a little magazine called Short Stories Magazine, which it was local authors, and we sold some advertisement. It was an online magazine, and I did some hard copies, but they were, like little saddle-stitched booklets. But when my grandchildren started coming, I let that go so I could concentrate on the
sure.
grandkids.
Yeah. Now, you're helping other publishers or other authors to get into the publishing business with their books, right?
Right. I'm a service provider for indie authors. I provide the service of helping them get freelance editors, cover design, children's book illustrators. I do all of the book formatting for them.
Ooh.
I do all the upload to print on demand. Companies like Ingram Spark, Draft to Digital, Kindle Direct Publishing. I do all the work from beginning to end, and they just sit back and say, "Oh yeah, that's good," or "No, we want to do it this way." Or
Wow.
they're fully in charge. But
That's awesome.
I think that somebody that has the desire to maybe want to publish a book, but then they say, I can write it, but I have no clue of what to do, how to format it, how to lay it out, how to edit it, and you're the person that can do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
that's what
great.
I do. If you want to spend your time getting tech savvy on how to upload and how to do all that, do it. But if you want to spend your time writing, let me do it for you.
Well, that's
Good.
wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, what's next for you?
Well, I'm pretty slam booked on formatting. On publishing, helping people publish this year.
Yeah.
But I just had a new great grandbaby.
Ooh.
That
great
yes,
grandbaby.
that I'm gonna get to meet her Sunday. Haven't met her
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Well, go love on her.
Yeah, do that.
I'm going to, yes, I'm going to. But I look forward to helping people publish. I'm going to continue to do that with True Paperback Press. I did it for a couple of friends. The way I got into it was they were being scammed kind of by what we call a vanity press.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, they paid for everything, but they were getting just a pittance in royalties, and they were having to buy 100 books at a time from that company at an inflated price. And I was self-publishing my first children's book, my own children's book at that point. And I said, get your rights back, and I'll do this for you, and we'll put it on your own platform. Okay. And that's what back when CreateSpace was in business.
How do people get a hold of you?
My phone number is on the website, and so is my email. My email is Sharon at paperback-press.com.
Okay. And what's the website?
Paperback-press.com.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, I want to mention her books. Your books are available on Amazon. I've seen several of them. So if that's something,
yes, ma'am, they are. My favorite book that I wrote was with a co-author. Was his story, and I wrote the book. And it's not really my favorite, I guess, but it's the best. Is The Will and the Wisp.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Western. And it's based on the true story of the Armstrong family. And my co-author, Jim Armstrong, has actually got 2 books out after that one. But that is a great Western if you guys like Westerns. The romances are good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have a lot of short stories out there. Of course, my Life in the Music Business, go grab that one. It's got some dirty little secrets.
I bet. Okay. I bet. Well, we're glad to get that information out to our viewers and also our listeners. Sharon, we want to thank you for taking time out for us this morning.
Absolutely, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you. And if anyone out there is wanting to know more about that, I think Sharon can help you. Just go to paperback-press.com. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Dan and Ann.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're going to take another break, and we'll have just enough time to close out when we return. Stay with us.
6.1.
And welcome back to Around the Table with Dan and Ann. We have just a few seconds remaining in the show, but we want to let you know that this show is sponsored by Stone Bank, located right here in Harrison, Arkansas, and different branches around the state. So thank them for being a sponsor of our show.
Okie dokie. Thank you. Thank
and we want to thank Sharon Kizziah-Holmes for being on the show. She's an author of and also coordinates people that want to publish their books from a company called Paperback Press. Go to their website, paperback-press.com, for more information.
You know, yeah, we're almost out of time for
Yes,
this
we are.
fine Wednesday, aren't we? But you
We
know
are.
what? There's a blessing in all this. It's the last day of winter. But tonight we have a chance of snow. Is that
I
it?
know, that's right.
So what does that mean? It's going to go out like a lion? Oh, there you go, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so National Certified Nurses Day. Thank you to all the nurses. National Let's Laugh Day. Show me your best laugh. Whatever. You know, I want to hear your best laugh. That's kind of sinister. That's really annoying.
I'm sorry.
National 3D Day, sorry. Third
3D.
day and the third week of the third month. Okay. And start of NCAA Women's First Four. All right.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow with whatever.
We'll try to
I
be.
think we may have another author tomorrow. I'm not 100%
Oh,
sure. Maybe.
I'll find out.
Yeah, you will. All right, people. Thanks for
Have a
being here.
great day. We'll see you tomorrow.